Harper caught it somehow.
Cowboys OT is brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys are 4-1 for the first time since 2016, and they open up a 2-game lead on top of the NFC East with a 44-20 win over the New York Giants at AT&T Stadium, starting the season with a perfect 3-0 at home as they take down their rival Giants in emphatic fashion. Welcome in to Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios alongside Nate Newton, alongside Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans as we break down the 44-20 win over the Giants. And Isaiah, I start with you. Once again, the Cowboys with a complete complimentary win at home, and they do it again against the divisional foe.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying it here a little while ago. These boys check the boxes. We had good quarterback play. We had a ground game. We had turnovers. The receivers caught the ball. We were flying around. We were hitting guys. It's a great game. These guys are learning how to play as a team. And most importantly, what I was excited to see is that when we pressed the gas, we didn't just let off the thing. We floored the thing all the way down to the ground and to the end of the game, and that's what we have to continue to do against opponents like this.
And speaking of flooring it, man, they just floored it with Zeke. They went right at it. They opened it up the first few series, making sure they featured Zeke, make sure we pounded them up. Then we come with a little play action. Then we come back a little bit later with Pollard. I like how they're trying to set the tempo often and early with the run game.
Cowboys running for over 200 yards in the ball game, and Zeke in the triple digits for the second straight week. Let's see how this one unfolded, starting with the opening drive where really things didn't start well for the Dallas Cowboys as Dak Prescott has this one tipped up in the air and intercepted, opening the game with a turnover, and the Giants look to take advantage with a 54-yard field goal try that went off and to the right from Graham Gano. He was 9 of 10 prior to that kick. The Cowboys answered with a 10-play, 44-yard drive, opening up for this 31-yard strike from Greg Zuerlein to take an early 3-0 lead. Saquon Barkley changing the game as he was missed over the middle of the field, rolled up on by Jordan Lewis. He did not re-enter, Isaiah.
No, he did not, and that's really unfortunate. Obviously, he just came back from those long injuries, and to sustain another one sucks.
And this was another turnover for the Cowboys offense as Dak Prescott mishandles the snap, but they were able to respond on the ensuing drive. CeeDee Lamb over the top.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb just simply pressed the gas on him and just ran right by the DB. They didn't stand a chance. A nice little stutter and then straight gas pedal on Bradbury.
We talked about it throughout the week. If you get those safeties looking in the backfield, CeeDee Lamb can make them pay.
That's exactly what he did right here. The safety was peeking, so he was taking off to the end zone.
Yeah, the Cowboys missed their first chance to score. They came back and made it 10-0. But then Daniel Jones with a hefty heave, a desperation heave to Kadarius Toney, who had a really nice night. That one setting up this play on the field goal attempt, 51 yards, that had the Giants back down 10-3. Then later in the game, or later in the half, I should say, Daniel Jones rolling out, and Jabril Cox combined with Chauncey Golston stopping Daniel Jones at the goal line. Jones shaken up after the play. Both he and Barkley were unable to return for the remainder, and our thoughts are with Daniel Jones. Here you see kind of the aftermath from the training staff.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see him go down with an injury, but what a great play by Jabril Cox, being able to get to the edge and stop them from scoring.
The Giants go for it on 4th down anyways. The play following Jones exiting, and they do find the end zone to tie the game at 10. But the Cowboys responded again on offense. A 24-yard touchdown pitch and catch over the middle to Cooper, and the Cowboys led it at the halftime break, 17-10. The Giants started the half with a field goal. The Cowboys answered with this play that Kellen Moore just loved to pull out of his bag.
Yeah, Kellen Moore was out here just playing around with these boys. They faked the fly sweep, faked the pitch, and then all of a sudden put the guy in a predicament, threw it to Zeke for the touchdown.
The first play of the next Giants drive, Glennon looking deep over the middle, and guess who's here? Trayvon Diggs with his 6th interception of the 2021 season. He's had a pick in all 5 games so far.
This dude is ridiculous. He is having an opportunity every game, and he is taking full advantage of it. If you throw it his way, best believe you're going to see it number 7 going the opposite direction.
The ball skills that Trayvon Diggs has shown already throughout the season has just been absolutely impressive. That might have been as impressive as of any of the picks that he's had so far.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the closing speed right there. You hear people always doubting his ability to be able to close, but right there he's leaving no doubt.
Cowboys tack on a field goal following the interception to make it 27-13. And then on a defensive stop on 4th and goal, which looked to be, at the moment, the final chance for the Giants to really make this a game because the Cowboys turned it on in the 4th quarter. Zeke catches the edge from 13 yards out to extend the lead to 34-13. The Giants then came back late after that to tack on this touchdown, a last-second reach in the effort at the goal line from Booker to make it a 14-point lead for the Cowboys, but the Dallas Cowboys do run out the clock and tack on a field goal late. Before this, Anthony Brown, pick 6, 45 yards out to really put an exclamation point on a 44-20 win for the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Giants. Nate, you take a look at all of those highlights all the way through. You see defense making an impact, the rushing game, the passing game. What did you think was the biggest key for the win?
Besides you running around the studio when Anthony Brown did what he did, for you to have the final score right, hey, they did everything great. They played just great team football, you know. And as long as they play with enthusiasm, even when they make mistakes, they come back and they try to rectify those mistakes and do the right thing. And the coaches got them going in the right direction. They don't believe right now they can lose a game.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. I like seeing this team overcome adversity. We had some plays early on that left these guys in the ball game, and we were able to respond to that and go out there and finish it the way in which we needed to get the W.
Cowboys first time over 35 points in 3 straight contests since 2014. They did it in Week 14 through 17, and the Cowboys come out on top with another 40-burger and some defense with 2 takeaways as well. When we come back, we break down how that defense got those takeaways and continued their momentum when we return with more Cowboys OT.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys offense, the Cowboys defense, Cowboys special teams all flexing their muscles in a 44-20 win over the New York Giants. And this is Cowboys OT, where the Cowboys, let's talk about the defense. 9th straight game with multiple takeaways. That's the 2nd longest streak in the NFL since 2010 as they continue to just find ways to force turnovers. It was a pick from Anthony Brown that was the final play of the game that really made an impact. But Trayvon Diggs was 6 interceptions to start the year.
Yeah, he's 6 interceptions. He almost had 7. You know, if his legs were a little bit longer, he would have got his toes down.
Maybe 9.
But he's playing really good ball. I mean, you could tell that his coach, Al Harris, is doing a great job of educating him, working with him in practice, and it's really flourishing here on the film. And it's really exciting to see this young talent really starting to come into his own. If he keeps on this pace, he is going to be one of the league's best, if not the league's best, cornerbacks.
What I like about what this kid is doing is he's challenging the safeties and the corners to be better, man. You see Anthony Brown is picking up his game. When the talent around you rises up, it takes the talent that's a little bit lower and rises it up through through film study and other ways, man. So this kid is bringing a lot of enthusiasm to the defense.
What do you think about the rest of the defense and more specifically that 2nd level, first game post Jalen Smith era? How did you think the linebackers looked, Isaiah?
I thought they looked okay. I mean, obviously the linebackers' play is usually going to be dictated by the guys up front. I don't believe that we got the pressure that we were hoping for. This game, we didn't get a sack. I think it's one of the few games, if not the only game, that we haven't had a sack this year. But, you know, we saw the play, unfortunately, when Daniel Jones got hurt. But the speed that Jabril Cox showed, you know, obviously guys were like, what's that void going to look like? What's that rotation going to look like? I think the guys pretty much got the answer they needed seeing them this game.
I just think with Parsons, he's going to expand his game. He's going to get better. And I saw him a couple of times in short yardage where he closed in there and hit guys for no gain, for a loss. So with the speed of this defense, man, if the D-line just continue to fill his gaps and let these guys learn as they go more and more, you'll see big plays like this.
Yeah,
boom.
Big play with
big plays like
Chauncey
this.
Golston on that goal line. And it kind of shows that the tackling and the fundamentals are really strong, really sound amongst the entire defense. Do you see that same thing, Isaiah?
I do. I mean, obviously, you have a mixture of veterans and young guys, so there's a lot of learning taking place here. They're still trying to figure out their identity. And everybody thinks that their identity is turnovers, which is awesome. But they're still figuring out how to play with each other. They're still figuring out how to play in the scheme. So the fact that they're having this much success while they're learning is inspirational.
Boom, just a big. I'm sorry I got mesmerized by, once again, the big player Diggs right there. Like you say, he could have had another if he'd had 6 inches more on his legs. I like how they playing. They're enthusiastic. They're playing for one another. You see right there where Basham get upfield, drives and right in for a loss. That opened up a hole for the wolf holler that we can call now, but we haven't called in years, to make a play,
No, absolutely, and there's the pick 6 from Anthony Brown. But kind of going back to what you had mentioned a little bit earlier, Isaiah, the defensive line with no sacks throughout the ball game. Now, they did have a number of quarterback hits, 7 on the board against the Giants today, and you look at kind of top to bottom the defensive numbers. Does it concern you, though, that sacks column has a goose egg in it?
It doesn't concern me as long as we're still applying pressure, right? So you see it up here on the stat sheet. It's not showing that we have any sacks, but you're seeing the QB hits. Those QB hits, converted over into turnovers. As long as we're getting pressure on the quarterback and making him uncomfortable, making him move his feet, he can't get his feet grounded the way he wants to, which means he can't deliver the ball, which means that we're going to have opportunity to get interceptions, just like we did today.
No sacks, but you saw quarterback hits of 7. You saw the pass defense of 3. You saw the interception. So when you check in the other boxes, because you are having that pressure, this team is playing well. You're going to have games. We may have a game where we don't have a turnover. But as long as you check in those other boxes to make it complimentary, you're okay.
This is going to be one of the games, I think, when you turn on the film, you're not going to expect Randy Gregory and Micah Parsons to have a big game. But they did, and you can see it on every play. They're making an impact. Mike Parsons, out of those 7 quarterbacks hits, the rookie had 3 of them, and then Randy Gregory had 2 of the remaining 4. So those 2 guys continuing to make an impact on that side of the football. When we come back, we have Isaiah break down a couple of the biggest plays of the afternoon. Once again, the Cowboys win it over the Giants, 44-20. More to come on Cowboys OT.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys OT rolls on here from the Star in Frisco alongside Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans, where we take a look at a couple of the key plays in the Cowboys' 44-20 win over the New York Giants. The Cowboys are now 4-1 on the season. Now, let's take a look at the defensive side of the football first. Tackling on the goal line, short yardage situations. It's always really been a bugaboo for the Cowboys, but this was a marauding effort, I think, from both rookies, Chauncey Golston and Jabril Cox.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you guys to pay attention right here to Jabril Cox, right? There's a lot of question marks in terms of, obviously we lost Jalen Smith this week, so what is it going to look like at the linebacker position? Watch him, but also look how we have these A-gaps filled, right? These A-gaps, you have to cover these gaps because obviously we're right here on the 1-yard line. So what does that leave you susceptible to? If everybody's playing the gaps, then you're also isolated out here on the edge. So let's take a look and see what happens here as Jones snaps the ball. Boom. Boom, pause it right there. We got big ball handler getting in there, shooting that gap, okay? We got Osa doing his job, okay? We're covering all these gaps. There's nothing there. These guys are running a play action, and they're trying to sneak Danny Dimes out the back end. You see Rudolph trying to get the edge right here, but he can't because of the athleticism of number 14, Jabril Cox, and this is what we were looking for out of him. We've been waiting for him to come out here and play. Look how he sheds the block. Let's run that back just right there. Boom. Look how he sheds the block. He can't get the edge, right? So what does he do? He bounces out, and now you see the exact speed that we saw in leading up to the draft when we grabbed this young man out of LSU. Bam. Big hit. Obviously, Golston's right there on the line as well. That is the speed that we need on the edge, which does not allow these guys to have advantages that they show up on paper. They don't have the advantage when we show up on the field.
It's also the angles. It's the speed to get to the outside and knowing your competition. I mean, Daniel Jones is one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. They knew he was going to get to that pylon if they didn't take the right angle, and both of them were able to convert. Now, offensive side of the football, the Cowboys were able to convert on a couple of different occasions. What happens on this play?
Ooh, this is called Kellen Moore in my bag. All right. the McNasty, okay? A couple things happen here. All right, we fake a fly sweep coming across, okay? Not only do we fake a fly sweep, but we also fake the pitch. So we have a fly sweep coming this way, okay? We also have some guys that are going across the field, trying to draw the eyes of the defense over on this side. When it happens, we also have a fake pitch coming out this way, and I want you guys to see this thing play out. Boom. So we come here, boom, right here, fakes the fly sweep. Pause that for me real quick. When that happens, look how we're coming across with CD. CD's going to bring himself all the way across this coverage here, trying to draw the defense this way. This fly sweep also widens out these defenders. These guys have to take another look as these guys are seeing the play happen. Boom, their eyes are right back here in the backfield. They can't just watch where the ball actually is or watching where Pollard is. When that happens, now look at this man right here. He is put in a predicament where he has to respect the pitch. All right, so he draws him out here. When he doesn't respect the pitch and he wants to come get a nice little sack, what happens? All right, he respects him, boom, comes up, can't win. That's a no-win situation right there, and Zeke walks all the way like 21s always do as they go in the end zone.
High stepping all the way into the end zone like Dion back in the day, but it was that little hesitation. And how about Dak knowing that all he had to do was just look downfield to cause the hesitation from the pressure off the right side in order to force just that little tick. And that was enough for Zeke to scoot out wide and catch the pylon. Once again, Isaiah Stanback on the breakdown. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we hear from Coach Mike McCarthy himself following the 44-20 win over the Giants. Welcome back to Cowboys OT. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium where Mike McCarthy hit the podium following a 24-point win over the Giants.
Okay, David.
Yeah, Mike, just a little bit of a sloppy start for you guys, but both sides of the ball, you kind of worked through that and righted yourselves second half.
You know, I think that, you know, like anything, you start a season, you know, and your preparation and your performance is totally different. But I really like the way the team has been preparing all month, but you know, it came into today with a ton of energy, and I think you know New York made some plays, and you know but for the most part, I thought for this particular game we were extremely productive for 4 quarters. I know we had the turnovers, the giveaways in the first half, but that was probably our only blemish. I thought the way we ran it and the way we threw it. They countered just like you'd think they would, and obviously losing, you know, both Daniel and Saquon is obviously factored. But you know, I like the way we played today. We improved as a team. I mean, the most important thing, we won the game. But I thought our productivity went up a notch, and we needed that. That's something we emphasized all week. The ability to, you know, just keep playing, not have the lulls. You know, we've had a couple of lulls in these first 4 weeks, but we clearly had. I didn't feel like that happened today.
You find that energy that you mentioned coming from the defense as much as the offense?
Oh, I think it's all the way through. I mean, I'm a defer, prefer defer, but I think just with the way we're starting games and just some of the other factors, taking the ball, and I think that's not a bad way to start, and it's a reflection of how our guys are coming into the game and. Just the energy and focus that they bring.
You talked about this stretch being the first quarter of the season. You touched on it here, but just such a different feel, I guess, than coming out of this game in Week 5 last year with the injury to Dak, and just kind of where you are now versus then.
Yeah, I don't even think you can compare this team to last year's team. It's different on so many different fronts, but we're clearly, we've competed, 5 times now, and I felt like we have played winning football in all 5 contests, and but we were looking for more production today, and I felt like we took a step in the right direction. Now I'm opposed to jump up and down with the 2 giveaways, but that's for another day. But it's we took a step today. That's a division rival. It's a big game on all fronts. I was very impressed with the way they won at New Orleans last week, and so we were expecting a confident team today, and they were confident, and they came to fight. And but I thought we did a lot of good things today.
How are you on way to describe what Trayvon Diggs is doing this season? Your reaction to his latest pick?
I mean, I was standing there with Dak, and it's just and I'll use his words. I've never seen anything like it. The ball goes up in the air, and he's coming down with it. I mean, it's I don't even think it's a 50-50 ball anymore. So playing at an extremely high level. confidence off the charts. But just the way he goes after the football, it's unique.
Mike, you've been around.
So it's now the official longest winning streak in the Mike McCarthy era as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And at some point, you have to give Mike McCarthy a little bit of credit. And absolutely, he deserves the credit for another win and 4-1 start to the 2021 season. But a lot of the times we look at the coordinators. You look at Kellen Moore. You look at Dan Quinn. You don't necessarily look at the head coach, at least in this current situation. But how much credit does he deserve for putting the personnel out on the field and in place to be successful?
He deserves a lot. I mean, last year we talk about how bad it was, but what did he have to endure as a head coach last year? All the different forms of adversity, COVID and the team going down and not having a good year, and then you bounce back and guess what? You have everything that you want, right? You have the off season, you have the OTAs, the training camps, and then you get the personnel through your scouting department. All those things come together, and then he has to do his job is to coach the men, right? To coach the coaches that coach the players. So holistically, you're seeing this team really come together, and it's always coming down from leadership.
Yeah, I was going to start with your head coach and then with your coordinators and then your position coaches. And he's done a great job. I think what he's done the most of is letting people do their jobs. And then when he needs to step in, he will step in. And he's been consistent in who he is and what he's been trying to accomplish.
And you could kind of hear a little bit of the pain in the voice, I think, of McCarthy when talking about the Giants' injuries because he's been there before. And the Cowboys have been, at least personnel-wise, pretty healthy throughout the year. Yeah, you're missing a couple key pieces, but so is every team in the NFL. But what's been the biggest key for them not to miss those guys as much as they would have a year ago?
Culture. I think culture. I mean, obviously, Dan Quinn, acquisition of him and what he's brought to this defense is huge, but that rubs off on everybody. And I think the expectation of this team has changed, and that's in all three phases of the game. And everybody on this team feels as if they can contribute, and that's the way it should be. And again, that goes right back to the head coach.
Hey, you want it smarter, longer, more athletic players with a little bit more discipline. He's got a little bit of it both. It's still early in the season. Let's see where this thing goes. But Dan Quinn was the biggest offseason acquisition for us.
No doubt about it. He's had a really great year. So has Ezekiel Elliott to this point. Another 110 yards on the ground. We hear from Zeke from AT&T Stadium when we return to Cowboys OT. Cowboys get over 200 rushing yards from the combination of Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, and then some from behind the line of scrimmage. Zeke himself, 110 and 2 total touchdowns. Here's what he had to say following the win.
The way you guys are playing offensively, whichever way teams want to defend you, it seems like you guys have an answer for anything that they want to do to you.
Yeah, it all starts up front, the O-line. From the beginning of the game where they established the line of scrimmage, they dominate the line of scrimmage, and they got their run game going, and everything fell into place after that.
What happened on when you kind of fell near the pylon or on the pylon? What exactly when you slowed to get up there?
Yeah, I fell on the pylon. That thing is kind of hard. Maybe we should find a new spot for it.
Most people think those are foamy and soft, but that's.
I think it is foamy, but it's hard. It's hard. At the bottom, the base of it's hard too. So, no, it's definitely not soft.
Did you land on your hip, or where did you get?
I landed on my back, look at my ribs.
Yeah, it must have really hurt because you instantly put your hand there.
Oh, it did.
Did you feel like something was stabbing you?
Yeah, it definitely hurt. Normally I get up, at least get off the field, but right there I had to chill out a little bit. But, kind of just stabbed me, lost my wind, yeah.
Zeke, what does it say about this team that you guys didn't really play that well, at least with the turnovers early, and still dominated?
We didn't play that well. It was early. We turned the ball over in the red zone. That can't happen at all. We got the job done. But we definitely gotta focus on playing a complete game. I think I said last week that's our next step as a team is playing a complete game and dominating the team from the first to the fourth quarter. So we got some work to do.
In some respects, is that the most encouraging? It's not like you guys are peaking here in October. There's still room to grow and still time to put together that effort.
Yeah, I love it. I don't love it but I am encouraged that, our best football is ahead of us. Right now we're not peaking. It's a long season, and we want to make sure we're peaking at the right time. But we got to just week in, week out, keep working to reaching where we want to go.
How good was that 98-yard drive?
I mean, that 98-yard drive was super dope. Especially you kind of what were we only up 7 or 10? But to go up 2 scores, get the ball on the 2, and go up and be able to drive it down the field 98 yards. That's hard. One on the defense, and that. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. My bad.
Well, that's one way to finish it out. Zeke, I didn't lose my train of thought. He lost his train of thought, but we figured it all out as we look at some of the stats here from the offensive side of the football. 500-plus yards for the offense, and it was about as even as you could get it through 74 offensive plays. Over 300 through the air. I mentioned the 200 on the ground. Sure, you had a couple of turnovers, but once again, Nate Newton dominating time of possession. A lot of that has to credit to your quarterback, the plays of your tailbacks, but, man, it starts up front with your line of scrimmage.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, they are punishing people. They open the game up trying to run the ball. They finished the game running the ball. They started with Zeke, letting them hammer. They finished with Tony Pollard. We sprinkled Dak in there. We sprinkled C.D. Lamb in there. I don't even know if we did we do a triple reverse today? I mean, we was trying everything just to make sure that their defense extend themselves. They have lost a lot of guys on offense, and that hurts them because now it puts the pressure on the defense, and it just didn't bode well for them today.
Yeah, Kellen Moore gave these guys a cupcake in terms of allowing them to enforce their will. From the get-go, you saw exactly how we try to get the ground game going. It didn't matter who was toting that thing back there. Connor McGovern might get one next week. But these guys are doing a heck of a job, not only running, getting good blocks up front, but they're trying to finish guys. You're starting to see Connor Williams even get a little nasty up front. That's when you know that these boys are turning into straight dogs.
Yeah, if it was a cupcake, it was anything but vanilla given out by Kellen Moore tonight as the Cowboys over 500 yards for the first time as a total offense in 2021. What did he do so special today that allowed really some of the skills players to get open, like a Cedric Wilson, C.D. Lamb, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I think he's keeping the defense honest. They have to respect everything that we step up to the line with. Nothing is off the table. Some offenses you face, and you kind of know, okay, these guys are going to run when these guys are in this personnel. When you see Brown come in, and you see who else was it that come in there? I blanked out. Anyways, Zeke got me. But when you see Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown come in, you usually think it's a run. That wasn't always the case. I mean, that's what Kellen Moore is doing with this offense.
C.D. Lamb in the backfield.
Yeah, he had one.
And then, Dak do that little thing that you drew up that was so perfect, man. Just keeping guys guessing. That's all you need is a split second in the NFL to make a play happen. And that's what he's doing. That's what Kellen Moore is doing, keeping them guessing.
It also helps whenever you have a defense that continues forcing turnovers and putting your offense in a place to be successful. When we come back, we hear from the man who has more interceptions than 27 NFL organizations, Trayvon Diggs, when we come back on Cowboys OT. We've had 5 games here in the 2020-21 season, I should say, and 5 games with Trayvon Diggs with an interception. Here's what he had to say following the game.
Trayvon, can you just walk us through the latest interception, just what you saw, and describe it?
They was in I think they was in 12, and when they get in formation like that, it's more so like play action pass, deeper routes, max protect. So, I had bailed. And, I was reading my keys, seeing he ran a post route, and then just made a play on the ball.
Where was the ball when you first saw it? Was it like coming down? Was it halfway up there? Where was it?
I just seen him cornerback throw it. And then, from there I could judge where the ball's going to be, where the ball's going to be placed. So, I just made a play on the ball.
Were there 2 other ones in the first half that you looked like you had a beat on to maybe intercept?
Yeah, the one, I think it was a double move. He kind of tried to run like an out. Jumped, didn't get my feet in. And then another one, he ran an over route, and I think I dropped that one. But I had it in my hands, and I dropped that one.
Have you explained to your son, because he's become kind of a celebrity throughout all this, that what you're doing doesn't happen all the time, that this is kind of a big deal for a player in your position?
I don't think he understands that yet. Eventually, when he gets older, if I do what I'm supposed to do, it'll be written, and he's going to be able to see it anytime.
Trayvon, I know that team goals come first, Richard Sherman tweeted out you the defensive player of the year. Do you have any personal goals going into the season, or are you just taking it one game at a time?
Honestly, I'm taking it one game at a time. You know, I got my goals at the end of the day, but, you know, I'm really focused on one game at a time and just trying to dominate, just dominate everyone come in front of me, So, that's just my main goal. And, I keep doing that step by step, sky's the limit. I don't know where I can go.
Even so, what does it mean when someone like Richard says something like that? And Dan was telling us earlier in the week that that's who you remind him of.
It's amazing. It's a blessing. He's someone that, I was watching college, when I first converted to DV, I was looking like, when I got switched over to defensive back, I was like, who can I watch that's similar to me, similar to my body type? And he was one of the guys that, I was really watching. And that's when when the Legion of Boom was there. So, I was watching him, he was doing a great job on the field. And that's somebody I still, look up to. He's got a tremendous amount of respect. So that means a lot to me.
At this point, do you start to pay attention to what the records are for interceptions in a season or franchise? Do you guys talk about that at all?
I try not to, chase anything. I'm gonna just take what they give me. I'm gonna just play how I play. Read my keys and do what I'm supposed to do. And it's gonna take care of itself if there are any records.
Do you feel the crowd kind of playing off of you now too? Those two.
So you hear some of the praise from around the league headed in the way of Trayvon Diggs, and certainly it is completely warranted from what he has done. 6 interceptions through the first 5 games of the year. And at some point, Isaiah, quarterbacks are just not going to throw his direction.
Yeah, because seemingly every time he gets a pick, he adds a chain. So, he's doing a heck of a job shutting down these receivers. Galladay didn't get a chance to do anything today prior to him, having to step out the game. But it's because of this dude right here. And if they keep going his way, he's going to keep adding an INT to that stat sheet every week.
Well, who they got next. This coach here won't throw his way. Believe me, it'll be a special and a high percentage throw if they make a throw this week coming up against the Patriots. So, man, this may be the open week. You don't get it, my brother, but I know you'll be trying.
Hey, there's a call from Nate Newton saying, hey, Bill Belichick's not going to throw in the way of Trayvon Diggs. Now, you got to give a lot of credit to the rest of this defense. What have they been doing so well?
Flying around. Really adopting the culture of Dan Quinn's system. Anytime, we already talked about how the defensive line didn't get any sacks, but they got pressures, right? And that pressure bursts pipes. And so anytime you have that going on, you're flying around, plays are going to fall in your hands.
And this time it did fall in the hands of Trayvon Diggs, fell in a couple hands of Anthony Brown late in the game, but there were multiple opportunities for that second level to make an impact. And we hear from Leighton, Vander, Esch when we come back on the other side of the break. The Cowboys win it over the Giants, 44-20. More to come from the Star in Frisco. Despite the large point differential in the Cowboys win over the Giants today, there was some physicality and a little chippiness even toward the end of the fourth quarter. Here's what Leighton Vander Esch had to say at AT&T Stadium following a physical win over the Giants.
All right, 4 straight wins, 3-0 on this homestand. What's the energy like in the locker room right now?
Energy's awesome. It's great. It feels awesome. We got a good thing going. It just seems like everyone's growing closer and closer together every day. And so we just got to keep continuing that, keep continuing to do those things, spend time with each other and hang out and just keep forming that bond. It's going awesome right now.
I don't know if this question is premature given that we're 5 games into the season, but does it feel different, this team, this season?
Yeah, it feels a lot different already. Like I said, it's just the camaraderie and the bond that we're already building. You can tell there's something special here, and I know it is early, but we just got to keep continuing to keep building together and realizing that we're in this together, and we're only going to be as good, as strong as our weakest link. So we got to bring everybody going, everybody along, and I think that's what we've been doing. We're a team full of leaders, so I think that speaks wonders to all the guys, and everyone steps up when they need to, and will speak up if they need to. They're not just talking to talk. So we got a good thing going.
Interceptions or turnovers are not guaranteed, but it seems as if Diggs is getting this done every week. Are you even surprised yourself?
Yeah, it's a sight to see, that's for sure. And he really could have had 3 tonight. I told him that on the sideline, and he just kind of laughed and shook his head. But the kid's a baller, and it astounds me how he goes and gets it every single day. And it starts in practice. It starts with how he's preparing day in and day out. And so you got to give the credit to him. And I know he's going to keep continuing the success through the season. So we just got to keep stacking it day by day and not getting too far ahead of ourselves.
I've been calling you guys an opportunistic defense. Could you talk about how you guys seem to be feeding off of each other and how it seems to give you guys momentum?
Yeah, I think we're taking pride in being in tough situations. Obviously, I mean, we were in some tough situations today, and I think we handled it extremely well. And I think it just shows the poise and just the confidence in our defense right now, and knowing that the guy to our left or right and the guy in front of us behind us is going to be right there if something breaks down. Because, I mean, we got a lot of stuff to clean up too, and we're far from perfect. But it just shows the potential that we have as a group.
What does it say that you don't have all your pieces defensively? You know, you had DeMarcus and you lost him, and you guys are still doing pretty good, even though there are some things to clean up, but you guys are still doing a pretty nice job.
Yeah, next man up, and I think the guys have been doing really well with that. The versatility of Mike obviously helps in that situation, and knowing that you can really play him anywhere on the field, so but puts a special dynamic to our defense that offense has got to learn to control, and they can't control it. So we got to keep doing that, and we got to keep preparing that way, knowing that we got guys that can play all over the field, regardless of whether it's secondary, linebackers, or D-line. We got guys that can do it all. So if one guy goes down, next guy in, and we can't have any fall off.
Leighton, I saw Wolf call, and I think I saw a small tribute to Jalen. Everybody knows he's beloved in that locker room. Did I see a swipe?
I honestly don't. I don't know. It was all kind of a blur in my head, and someone said something to me, and I didn't know what they were talking about. But I mean, maybe it just came out. So, yeah.
Leighton, that seemed
So
like
Leighton Vander Esch still having a lot of fun even through the physicality. And it's easy to have fun when you're a defense that has 9 straight games with multiple takeaways. Now, we've talked about the secondary, a couple interceptions there, but the front 7, without a sack today, they did have 7 quarterback hits. We mentioned that earlier in the show as well. But who made the biggest impact in that front 7 today?
It's hard to say one guy. I mean, I think Parsons had a heck of a game in terms of when he was actually at the point of a contact, how he didn't get pushed back. That's one thing I always look at when I'm watching a defensive player and their ability to tackle. He was actually bringing the punch, to these guys, especially those goal line stands.
OC, you know his last name. Yeah, that dude there, man. He plays multiples. He plays on the 3 technique. He plays outside the 5 and the 9 techniques. This dude is doing a hell of a job, and he's that mainstay right now of getting up the field so these linebackers can run.
What did you think about the return of both Keanu Neal in the second level and then Carlos Watkins in the middle of that defensive line, as both of those have missed some games with injuries?
Yeah, Watkins was getting pressure, and then Neal, the combination of Neal and Cox right there, you saw those guys, their speed is present as soon as they step on the field.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just so many guys, so many packages. I was one that didn't believe that you can have these many packages. But in today's NFL, 99 packages is not bad.
You're exactly right, though. You're seeing all these different looks and these different packages from a defensive standpoint, even though it, from a grand scheme of things, is more simple than it was a year ago underneath Mike Nolan. Really quickly, Isaiah, why is that working this year where it didn't last year?
Because they have a defensive coordinator that puts them in position to be successful. He knows exactly what they do well at, what they excel in, and that's all he's asking them to do. Go out there, do this one thing that you do well at 100%. Come off the field, let somebody else go and make plays.
Somebody else who does that in their unit is Dak Prescott. He allows all of the guys around him to do what they do exceptionally well, even better. He had another good game today, and we hear from QB1 when we return with more Cowboys OT right after this from the Star.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Second time this season for Dak Prescott over 300 yards, but it's the 4th time that he's had at least 3 passing touchdowns. Welcome back into Cowboys OT, where we go back out to Arlington and hear from Dak Prescott himself.
I like that.
Is there any way to put into words how much better you and your teammates feel about what this team can be coming out of this game this season than where you were a year ago here?
I mean, the past is the past. I think it's about living in the present, not getting too infatuated with the future either. Just living in this moment, enjoying this win right here, and we'll turn the page tomorrow and focus on New England Patriots. So it's about the growth. There was a lot of growth, I guess, is what you're looking for out there on the field tonight. Handling different adversity, handling different situations, being able to finish the game, defense getting that last touchdown. I think it was just an all-around good team win under the circumstances of how the offense started early.
Can you talk some uncharacteristic turnovers for you on those first 3 possessions? Can you talk about those 2? And
Yeah, I mean,
how the offense responded?
Yeah, I mean, I think just a great play by the edge rusher there, getting his hands up and putting the ball, tipping the ball in there, and then obviously just kind of falling in his hands. Great play by him. And the second one, yeah, I mean, that just kind of rushed the whole snap to handoff mechanics and threw the ball away right there, and just definitely can't do that, especially not in the red zone. I mean, that's just situational. It's not good anytime, but down there when you're guaranteed some points, that's a big swing. So that just puts the defense and put the team in a tough spot, but we're able to battle and come out on top.
To CD, the touchdown pass kind of swung the game a little bit. The momentum really seemed to change in that moment for the offense for you guys. Did you feel that?
I mean, guess looking back on it now, you could say that, yeah. But, I mean, at the time, it was just a third down. We needed to convert a third down. That's a play that we've been working on a lot in practice. I mean, I guess over the past few weeks, and knowing I had CD on a go ball and a chance, and saw he wanted the line early, and wanted to give him a chance. I missed him last week, and he was able to turn on the Jets and walk underneath that one. And yeah, it was great. It was a great way to get the scoring rolling.
Was that kind of a new wrinkle from Kellen, the fake pitch to Zeke, and then you look away and then you throw it to Zeke down on the goal line?
New. I don't know if I can say that. I feel like we may have ran it before, but as I've continued to tell you guys, Kellen's got so much great stuff, and he knows when to call it, and that was just another example of that.
What does it say about the ceiling?
Dak Prescott now with 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions to start the year. It's hard to be playing as well as he has been through the first 5 games of the season. The Cowboys get the win 44-20 over the New York Giants as they continue their win streak. Now 5 straight wins against the NFC East divisional foe at AT&T Stadium, and it was a balanced attack. We saw these numbers early on, 300 passing yards, 200 on the ground. Sure, the offensive line, we've already given them a ton of credit, but let's talk about Dak Prescott. How impressed were you of his game today?
To be honest with you, I don't think this was Dak's best game, as well as the stat sheet shows in terms of how he played. I know there's about 3 plays he wish he had back. Obviously, the interception, which was a great play by a defensive lineman, the fumble, and he almost had a second pick there. So I know he wants to kind of erase those things, and if you take those plays out of it, I think he had a heck of a game. So just imagine how much better he'll be going into the next week.
He's just being consistent. I mean, nothing shakes him, after the interception, the bat down and the tip and the interception. Nothing shakes him. He just comes back out the next series, does what he has to do. Whenever the Giants do something, he answers. So, I mean, he's unshakable right now, and he's on a roll.
He's playing as well as anybody in the NFL at the quarterback position heading into Week 6, and they do have the New England Patriots on the road. The Cowboys have not had a ton of success against the Patriots so far in the last, let's say, 20 years, because there was a guy that wore number 12 there for a little bit. But what do you want to see the Cowboys improve upon this week before they head into Week 6 and then into a bye?
Yeah, don't give the ball away. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see us play a full game where we're not giving the ball away, because every time we do that, we give the opposing team an opportunity to get points, obviously, and that's not something we want to be gifting away.
I just don't like when you play the New England Patriots. They look for those opportunities, and they take advantage of them. I think they're a little bit better than the Giants. We got to, once again, go back into the smart bag, play smart, play hard, and you should beat them.
All right, Nate, before we wrap things up, how impressed were you with really the Cowboys as a whole, coaching staff, personnel, and everything in this win today? And was this their best win of the year? Complete-wise.
Up to date, this is their best win of the year. I like how Coach McCarthy played through things and got things going, man. But you know what? I'm never satisfied. It's tomorrow, always.
The Cowboys.
Always.
Cowboys probably aren't satisfied as well. They've got a lot of things they want to work on. Like you said, Dak Prescott wants to clean up a couple of those early mistakes. And the way that they've responded in a couple of these games back-to-back has been the impressive part about the Cowboys' win streak. And 4 straight wins now for the Cowboys, their longest win streak dating back to 2018. And it's the first time they've been above 35 points in 3 straight games since 2014. That's it for us here on Cowboys OT. For our entire DallasCowboys.com crew, for Isaiah and Nate, I'm Kyle Yeoman. So long. We'll see you next week.